Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the WTP Sports Podcast. How y'all doing this evening? I got some very special guests with me tonight. We're going to be rocking out talking about them Texas Longhorns and they 2026 prospects. And today I got Mr. Robert Brown, the Ohio legend. Mr. Robert Brown, how you doing this evening, homie?
Man, I'm feeling fantastic, man. Ready to get to talking about my Longhorns. Anytime we're talking Texas Longhorns, I'm always going to be geeked.
That's for sure. That's for sure, man. I see you decked out. I like it, man. And I got Mr. Aggie, SEC Shine with me tonight. How you doing this evening, homie?
Well, I had to jump on. I'm doing great post game, but there ain't no way I'm letting these two other dudes have a full run without the backside coming across with some opposition and opposing views.
I can dig it. You outnumbered tonight, my man.
Hey,
it is
what it is.
and last
I'm never
but certainly,
because I got 12 behind me. I got the 12th man behind me.
Way behind.
Hey man, I'm just a spectator. I'm just a spectator in this one, so I'm gonna let y'all sort that out. And last but certainly not least, I got Mr. Doug. I like to call him Dougie Fresh. How you doing this evening, homie?
Man, I'm doing great, guys. It's good to see y'all again. It's about that time. Football season, Longhorn time, Aggie time. So let's go, man. Let's rock and roll. Good to see you guys. I've been rocking with Sean lately. Anyways, it's been a lot of fun doing the high school talk and everything. So now it's ready to do some college ball.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. And y'all do your thing on the Texas high school football. I done caught a couple episodes. But let's get right into it, man, because we got a lot to talk about. And me personally, I'm really interested in this Texas football breakdown because I predicted it'll be Notre Dame and Texas for the national championship. So I got Marcus Freeman on speed dial, so y'all might not want to give up too much information. But let's get it. And I'm going to start with Mr. Brown on this one. And I kind of want to talk about the 2025 season, to what led us to this season. Texas finishes 10-3, 6-2 in the SEC, and finished 5th in the SEC. What were the biggest reasons Texas didn't meet expectations last season, Mr. Brown?
I mean, to start off, it started off with the offensive line that we thought was going to be really good because of the experience that was there the previous year in 2024. We thought they were going to fare better than what they did, and they did not. And then, of course, Arch Manning, with all of the hype that he came in with, I think that sort of derailed him and had him sort of pressing a little bit too much. So that bothered us. And then when you look at PK's defense last year, Texas recruited guys that wanted to play press and go after it, but he had those guys playing sitting back and stuff like that. And we were giving up plays that we should not have been giving up had we been more aggressive. And I think those three things was ultimately what had Texas starting off really, really slow.
What you got on that, Doug?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree exactly with what Rob said. I mean, the offensive line, we thought that was going to be a strength, actually, but it wasn't. It was terrible. And Arch, like you said, with all the hype coming in, the slow start. I mean, it was rough. It was really rough. So, and plus, I'm gonna be a little pissy about this, but scheduling Ohio State early and not winning that game. I mean, that I think that kind of put us back a little bit. So the expectations were definitely not met, but a lot of that had to do with just Arch not being ready, and some of that has to do with Coach Sark, because he's the offensive coordinator and the head coach. So hopefully that won't happen again. That slow start, because they can't afford it, not this year.
So I'm stay with me on this one, Doug. Looking back, and you brought up Coach Sarkisian, is there anything he could have did differently for y'all to start off maybe with the victory over Ohio State, or maybe just getting one more victory? I'm pretty sure y'all locked for the playoffs. What is it that Sark could have did better?
That's a good question, man. That's hard to say. I mean, you would think Arch would have been ready, because the way he played at the end of the season looked like what we kind of expected him to be like in the beginning of the season, especially coming off of being there a year or two already. So what he could have done differently, I don't know, man. That's a good question. What do you think, Rob? I gotta give that one to you.
I really don't think there was anything that Steve Sarkisian could have done differently, because we felt like we had a good enough team to come out last year. The running back room was kind of banged up. Arch didn't really have an opportunity to really gel with those wide receivers, because many of them weren't even in spring ball, and some of them didn't even start fall camp on time. So he was already behind the 8 ball. And then you couple that with the offensive line not playing to the potential we thought they would. I just really didn't feel like there was anything Steve Sarkisian could have done. He just had to weather that storm and keep plugging away at it. And after a while, we started to see them starting to put things together. The running game got a little bit better. They finally found continuity on the offensive line. And Emmett Mosley got healthy. DeAndre Moore got healthy, and they were able to start making some plays. Now, the wide receivers was dropping some balls too, so couple that in there too. But I don't think there was anything that Steve Sarkisian really could have done other than just weather the storm and pluck away at it, and eventually he did.
Yeah, SEC Sean, you got anything on their recap of the 2025 season? You calling cap, or are they keeping it funky?
Well, let me bring this here. Let me put this up real quick. There's one thing missing from this group.
Uh-oh.
He really doesn't have an offensive coordinator. He likes to call his plays himself.
He is the offensive coordinator.
And I mean, it says Kyle Flood, but let's be real. Nobody's calling the plays. It's much like Mike Elko with the defense at A&M. But I mean, you look at it and you think, what could he have done better? I think he needs to turn it over to somebody else. I think he needs to turn play calling duties over to somebody else. I think it takes too much away from a head coach. He's this offensive wizard, and the offense was lacking most of the beginning of the year for sure. So, to me, that's one thing Sarkisian could do. I hope he doesn't. I mean, they've beaten us 2 years in a row, so I guess it really doesn't matter what I think about him. But like Rob mentioned, too, with PK and his defense from last year, to touch on that real quick, there was too many times early in the season I didn't see Colin Simmons doing Colin Simmons things. I saw Colin Simmons doing line or safety things, and that's a disaster. That is the best probably pass rusher in the game right now, and that guy was dropping into coverage. That made no sense to me. So I compare it to Notre Dame, which is funny. You mentioned you had Notre Dame and Texas in the championship game post, because last year Notre Dame's defense at the beginning was not good. Got better. Last year, Texas wasn't really that great and got better when they started using things and doing things right. So I still think Sarkisian needs to give up play calling duties for sure. And I'm interested to see where that defense goes with Muschamp in year one.
Yeah, I think we were gonna mention about Sark giving up that offensive coordinator, but we all know that's just not going to happen. It'll never happen with that man. So it wishful thinking.
So let me ask y'all, and I'll start with Mr. Brown. How was this? I know you guys have been Texas Longhorn fans for a lifetime, your whole lifetime, right? Was this the most disappointing season y'all can think of?
No, definitely
Nope.
not. Hey man, we had a 13-year run where we was sorry as all get out, man. So no, it wasn't. It was disappointing not to make the college football playoffs because we felt like we had a good enough team to make the college football playoffs. So there was disappointment there. But believe me, man, that 13-year run we had when we was horrible, I don't ever want to relive that time. I will take 10-3 any year over
Yes.
4-8s and 5-7s.
100%. I might have questioned that wrong, meaning the expectations coming into the season were so high. I mean, they were talking about Arch winning the Heisman. Y'all started off numero uno, I believe, in the polls. So from that aspect, have you been disappointed like that before, being a Texas fan?
When were they ranked number one like that before? I mean, I thought they were number two 2005 preseason, but even having a number one ranking and a Heisman contender, yeah, I mean, it was definitely disappointing not to make the playoffs. There's no doubt about that. I think everybody on that team would tell you that. 3 losses. The one at Florida is probably the one that hurts the most, but it is what it is. But definitely disappointing after being number one, starting off number one.
Maybe that 2001 year, man, where Chris Sims and Major Applewhite were going back and forth about who was going to be that quarterback. Of course, they went with Chris Sims. That year, we dominated Colorado in the regular season. Did meet them in the Big 12 championship game with an opportunity to go to the national championship game.
Right,
and, we lost to Oklahoma that year when we probably shouldn't have lost to Oklahoma either. And so that year, 2001, will probably be the year that ranks up with last year and the disappointment of that. Because I thought for sure that Texas team, the way they came out that season in 2001, they were lighting it up, man. And then they lose to Oklahoma. And then they lose to a team. I think they beat Colorado. It was a blowout. I mean, they beat them by almost 40 points, I believe. And then they lose to them in that Big 12 championship game. That right there was a very disappointing season for me in 2000.
That's a great point, Rob. I remember that because I think the same day, I think we needed Florida to lose or something like that, and they did. And then Chrissy just went Chrissy, and the Culligan kid is what we called him because the Culligan Holiday Bowl was as far as he would take Texas, unfortunately. But yeah, that was definitely disappointing. We had Roy Williams, all these guys, and it was great.
Oh man, I remember Roy Williams. He was a baller. So, and bear with us in the chat. We trying to do a team preview. I'm gonna get to y'all questions and comments as soon as I can, but we got a lot to get through tonight. So bear with us. So let's start with y'all star player, man. Y'all golden child, Arch Manning. Mr. Brown, what do you expect from Arch Manning this year? What kind of season can we expect from the kid in the second full year starting?
I mean, I think he's going to have a really, really productive year. But what I want people to understand about Arch Manning is he's not going to be a super accurate quarterback on the short game and the short middle game. He's never going to be that ultra accurate guy. Now, his long ball is unbelievable. He's very accurate there. So he's going to miss some throws short and in that short intermediate areas. So I want everybody to understand his percentage is probably going to be around 65%. It was at 61 last year. I expect him to throw for over 32, 3,300 yards. I expect him to throw for at least 20 to 25 touchdowns. And I expect him to have a really, really good football year. We don't need Archer, I think, in this year to be as electric as he was the last half of the season because we got so many freaking weapons around him. All you got to do is get the ball to your weapons. So I expect him to have a fantastic season, 65% completion percentage, at least 32 to 3,500 yards, 20 to 25 passing touchdowns, probably another 7 to 10 rushing touchdowns. I think he's going to have a really, really good season. Better than Anthony Mendoza's Heisman Trophy campaign, that's for sure.
So if he puts up numbers like that, are you expecting him to finish top 3 in the Heisman if not win it?
Because of his name, definitely he's going to be there, even though I think there's going to be some quarterbacks that are going to blow those stats away.
Doug, same question, man, because I mean, the last game Arch Manning played was against Michigan, and I think that's the type of Arch Manning you guys were expecting to have for the full season. But, man, he lit it up in that bowl game. He was unbelievable. What kind of season are you expecting from your QB1?
I expect Arch to continue where he left off last season, at the end of last season. Like Rob said, he's not going to be the most accurate quarterback, and he's not. I mean, a lot of his balls kind of sail. You can see that. You can see that at practice. Some of the highlights. Cam Colton having to jump. I mean, these guys do not need to be leaving their feet at practice. You know what I'm saying? Like that. But he's going to make plays, man. The guy is gritty. He's smart. He's tough. I mean, he's tough as nails, and he earned that respect last year, getting his butt kicked because that offensive line was garbage. Looked like David Carr out there with the Texans, but especially that Florida game, he really earned the respect of his teammates because he took a beating out there. But if he can, if Sark can call the right plays for him and keep him within himself a little bit and just let him be him a little bit, kind of like how Mac let Vince be Vince a little bit, and just let him ball, let him play, because, man, Arch, he's a fiery guy, man. He's a competitor, and he's got the pedigree too. So no, I expect him to continue what he did at the end of the season, because they can't afford a slow start. That September he had, they can't have that for Arch Manning. Yeah.
No doubt. One of the things that I mention to Rob from time to time on different podcasts is that I really expect Arch Manning to hurt defenses using his legs. He had over 399 rushing yards this past season. Do y'all expect that total to grow? And what kind of ballpark will he be in when it comes to rushing the ball?
I don't think he's going to rush for that many yards this year, because I don't think they're going to need him to, unless it's in scrambling situations. I don't think there's going to be as many design runs as they were last year. I think they've worked on correcting those things in the red zone so that if they do use him in the red zone, it's going to be sparingly and just to keep the defense on their heels. But I think they got some really good talent there. They got some really, really tall receivers that they can throw the ball up to. And they got two really dynamic running backs. And Michael Terry and Derek Cooper are going to be some really good short yardage running backs as well. So I don't think he's going to get 400 yards rushing, but he might still have anywhere from 5 to 10 rushing touchdowns.
How about you, Doug?
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to rush for 1,000 yards or anything, but if he can, get close to 500 yards rushing, maybe about double-digit rushing touchdowns would be really good for him. So, that's pretty much what I would expect from Arch this year.
My man, SEC Shine, feel free to chime in, dog.
I'm letting them have the majority. I'll just jump in once in a while here. They had to go get tall receivers in the portal. because Arch is throwing the ball 90 feet in the air. So they had to get guys that could go get it. I'm hoping he throws it over the middle like that against A&M because those receivers are not going to live with those safeties back there. But that's a different game. So Arch is good, y'all. Look, Arch is going to be – Arch proved last year. To me, he proved a lot to me when he came back from that Mississippi State concussion the next week and was good. I think Arch grew up last year. He was saddled with all the expectations of that last name. And we all agreed it's not fair. It wasn't fair for that guy to have to live with that. So I think he dealt with it the best he could. I think he was trying to do too much at the beginning. And then you saw when he settled down, it's like the game started slowing down for him. As bad as I hate to say it, go watch the A&M game. No offense is doing anything in that game. And then he breaks. You expect that to be Marcel Reed doing that, not Arch Manning. His accuracy concerns me. It does. He is good on the deep ball. I wish we could clone the quarterbacks and do a thing because Marcel can't throw a deep ball, but he's really good underneath. So if we could figure out some way to make this work with both teams, we'd be pretty good. But we're going to see what happens. I expect Arch to have a good season. I'm not sure I see a season like what Rob predicted, though. I'm not sure it's that high, but if he's even close to that, he's probably going to get the Heisman. A lot to do with the last name on the back of his jersey.
Well, that's interesting because I think Texas is loaded. What would prevent him from reaching those type of numbers, SEC Sean, in your opinion?
First off, the accuracy has to get better. He's going to be facing some serious defenses this year. I'm not saying he didn't last year. But Ohio State's going to have a good defense. They always do. But, they don't get Georgia this year. OU's got an outstanding defense. Do y'all get Bama this year, Rob? Doug? Do y'all have Bama? No. A&M is expected to have a good defense. Like I said, that game last year was defensive until a couple of plays. LSU is probably going to have a good defense, and they get them late in the year, so they're going to be more gelled. So, to me, he's going to face a lot of defenses, and I know they have a lot more weapons out there now. But, I'm just going to have to see it with the accuracy. I don't know. We've talked about some safeties and some cornerbacks in the SEC that are going to shut down some of that. So the running game, I think, is going to be his biggest help. But I'm not sure about 3,200 to 3,500 passing yards yet. It's possible, but I'm not there.
Any of y'all want to rebuttal that? Interesting. Okay, so heaven forbid Arch has to sit out some time. Out of Lacey, Bell, and Morris, who gives the Longhorns the best chance to win? I'm going to start with Doug on this.
Oh, I think it's no doubt it's Lacey. Lacey's been extremely impressive. And Sark always talks about him. I think he said he reminded him of what's his name? USC. His name escapes me. But he compared him to that guy when he was at USC or was it Alabama? I can't remember now.
Yeah,
but Lacey, I like to see him play. Honestly, man, I hope he gets some time. Maybe against Texas State. He's not going to see Ohio State unless something happens to Arch. But I like to see him play because I heard he's really, really good, accurate, smart. I mean, he, all that. So great character guy, all that. So I like to see him play. But Bell, I think he's a freshman. So it'd be nice for him to just sit and watch for a year, anyways. So Lacey, no doubt.
Mr. Brown, what you got on that?
Yeah, without a doubt, it's KJ Lacey. I think he gives Texas the best chance to win some games, especially the ones that are manageable. If Arch Manning was to go down, he's a guy who, even though he's smaller in stature, like we mentioned Bryce Young, he is extremely accurate, and he knows how to move in the pocket and still make plays. He's not a guy who's going to kill you or overwhelm you with his legs, but he's athletic enough to buy him some time and still be very accurate with the ball. So I know KJ Lacey will probably be the one. The interesting thing is going into, if Arch Manning decides to go pro at the end of the season, the battle between him and Diabell. The fact that he's got 2 years in there, but Diabell's upside because of his size, that's going to be one heck of a competition.
I'm really shocked neither one of you went with Bell, because everything I'm hearing and reading out of Texas camp is Bell looks like the best quarterback on the roster, including Arch.
Really?
Crazy.
Yeah.
But that's thrown on air, bro. That's thrown on air.
Yeah, but you're looking better than Arch throwing on air. So what's the difference? That's what I'm saying.
It's the intangibles that he brings during the game, I think, and the fact that he's been in the system for a million years. So that, of course, that's what gives him the nod. Now, if they were in the system the same amount of time, then we will be probably talking more about Diabell. I think the fact that he's throwing on air right now, he looks good because he can really sling that thing. And I think we want Diabell to have a whole football season to get extremely healthy, because he hasn't been healthy in quite a while.
Yeah, I agree. I was shocked because that's everything I'm hearing is Diabell. I'm kind of hoping we get to see Diabell November 27th.
You will, because the score is going to be 45-10.
That's not going to be a possibility.
It's going to be garbage time, man.
If Diabell's starting that game, y'all are in trouble.
He's going to be fine. He's going to take this year to watch and learn, man, and grow.
Yeah,
it'll be great.
That's fine. That's just what I hear coming out of camp. That's why I was shocked. Neither one.
I'm glad. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, I really like Diabell coming out of high school, man. But let's move on, man, to this running back room, because y'all go into the portal, y'all pull out Relief Brown and Hollywood Smothers. How big of an upgrade is that from last season's running back room, Mr. Brown?
I mean, on paper, it looks like an upgrade, but we got to remember that Trey Wisner was hurt and CJ Baxter was coming off of an ACL injury. Now, both of those dudes talking about 2024? Oh, man, those dudes was electric, man. I love them, and I would pick them over the Hollywood Smothers and Relief Brown all day, but that's not the case. So I think it's an upgrade because those guys just weren't able to do some of the things that Steve Sarkisian wanted to do as a tandem. These two guys we got now as a tandem, they can do everything that Steve Sarkisian wants to do offensively with those two guys, much like you seen when we had Trey Wisner and Jalen Blue. These guys are going to be even more like that because both of them are much faster than Trey Wisner.
What you got, Doug, on your new running backs?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an upgrade only because these guys are healthy, 100% healthy. So I'm with Rob. The guys we had before, Wisner, Baxter, I mean, those guys are studs, man. They really were. And these guys are good too. And I'm hoping Sark will use them the right way. I mean, like a tandem, like you said, get them equal reps or something, whatever, find good packages for them or whatever, get some fresh legs in there. So is it an upgrade? Yes, because they're healthy, man. And so that's where I'm going with that.
What do y'all expect? How do y'all expect Steve Sarkisian to use these running backs, Hollywood Brown or Hollywood Smothers and Relief Brown? How do y'all see them being used in the offense?
Well, I don't know which one is more of a downhill runner. I know they're both pretty shifty and, probably screens and things like that. I would imagine. I don't know which one would even start. Would it be Brown or would it be Hollywood, you think? I think it'd be Brown, wouldn't it?
I'm thinking this Hollywood Smothers is going to be the one that's going to be RB1A, and then of course Raleigh is going to be RB1B. But I think that Hollywood Smothers gives them more what they want to start the game with. And then Malik Brown is going to be more that guy that's going to come in on third downs, much like we've seen with Jaden Blue when him and Trey Wisner was the tandem. But I really like Hollywood Smothers. I think he's a guy who can still run in between the tackles. He always falls forward, even though he's a smaller running back. He always falls forward. He knows how to get those short yardage. So does Malik Brown. He's able to get 3rd and 1s, 3rd and 2s. He's able to get those first downs, and we've seen him do that now. Granted, it's in the Big 12. It was in the Big 12 and it was in the ACC. Now we're talking about a different animal in the SEC. But I feel ultra confident in both of them. But I think that Malik Brown is going to be more of the guy on third down, and to start off series, it's going to be Hollywood Smothers. But I will say this: you're going to see some 21 personnel as well, with both of those guys both being in the backfield, which we've seen a lot of that when we had Bijan Robinson, and a lot of that when we had Jaden Blue, and when we had C.J. Baxter when he was healthy with Trey Wisner. They really like to use 21 personnel because it's a tough offensive formation to handle, especially when you got a good blocking tight end.
It's real quick. My take on this is they're both really talented, and so are the backs you had before. But it's going to hinge on the same thing it hinged on last year. If the offensive line is not blocking anybody, those guys are going to get beat up. So that's what it's going to hinge on. They're both super talented, don't get me wrong. I think Smothers is going to be your starter based on the projected 2D, but without an offensive line, it's really not going to matter.
Yeah, I like both of these running backs. I think Hollywood Smothers flirted with Notre Dame a little bit. There was some rumors about him going to the Golden Dome. But, man, I'm telling y'all, and y'all podcast with me all year, all summer long, man, I really like Malik Brown. That dude is so dynamic to me, and I think he can be dominant. I mean, you can't go wrong with both, man, but really like those running backs that Texas was able to pull out the portal. So, fellas, let's talk about these wide receivers, because depending on the site, Cam Coleman is credited for 4 to 12 drops last year, while Ryan Wingo was credited for 7. Will this be an issue for y'all Texas Longhorns in 2026, Doug?
Unfortunately, it will be an issue, I think. Now, I don't know what site you're looking at, maybe an Alabama site or something, but probably not, though. But I didn't know Coleman had that many drops, to be honest with you, man. I was too busy with Wingo's drops last year and stuff, because that guy would drop a ball and then make a spectacular catch. But no, there are definitely going to be some issues with drop balls, man, because like Sean liked to point out about Arch is he's not the most accurate quarterback. A lot of the balls are going to be high, and they're going to hit him in the hands, or at least, if it hits you in the hands, it's a drop, right? So, but and sometimes he likes to throw it at the low too. So I mean, I think it's going to be a problem, but I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think they're going to make enough plays to combat that. So, but drop balls are tough, man. I mean, that's going to be tough for Arch, but it is what it is.
You know what? I don't think it's going to be an issue, because anytime you go into a season where you had a year of a lot of drop balls, or you were inconsistent catching the ball, you come in ultra focused. Your quarterback is going to get you on. Your coaches are going to get you the extra work you need so that you can get your focus there. And I think both of those guys are going to be ultra focused. They're going to look the ball in, and they're going to be looking to make some plays, because we all know that this is their contract year. This is the year you want to show the NFL that you've improved on your drop balls. I think those guys are going to be ultra focused. I think they're going to have a heck of a season catching the football. They may have a drop here or there, but I guarantee you it won't be 4-12 and it won't be 7.
I tell you who don't drop balls is Michael Bishop, or is it Jermaine Bishop? I'm sorry, Jermaine Bishop. Yeah.
Look, it's artistically said it right. I'm going to give Cam Coleman a little bit of a pass. Right. There was some he should have definitely caught. But look, Jackson Arnold was not the greatest passer of the football in the history of college football. Okay. Arch Manning is an upgrade. So hopefully it gets better. Plus, it's the University of Texas, y'all. They have millions of dollars. I guarantee you one of those boosters went to the local Walmart and grabbed some super glue for Cam Coleman and Ryan Wingo. So expect some of that sticky stuff on their hands.
Good old sticker, huh?
Wow. So I got a question for y'all on the wide receiver room. Do y'all believe that Texas isn't mentioned enough when you talk about the best wide receiver groups in America? Mr. Brown?
You know, it's okay with me. I do believe that they are not mentioned enough. I do. But I'm okay with that because as Texas fans, we know how dynamic that room is. It's going to be one of the better wide receiver rooms in the country because Emmett Mosley is a baller and he's healthy. Cam Coleman, we know, is a baller and he's healthy. Ryan Wingo, if he can have the year that he needs to have, they got him projected as a late first round, early second round pick as well. We know Cam Coleman is probably going to go in the first round. I really think that they're not being mentioned enough, but I'm okay with that because if they're not being talked about, that means they're going to get to sneak up on somebody.
Where would you rank your wide receiver room in the country, Rob?
I would say somewhere between maybe 4 and 10. They can fall anywhere between 4 and 10, in my opinion.
How about you, Doug? You think people aren't talking about y'all room enough as one of the best in the country?
Well, I don't think they're talking enough about the wide receiver group. I mean, they definitely talk about Cam Coleman plenty, for sure, but maybe not so much as a group. But like it doesn't bother me either. So I mean, because they're really good, man. I mean, they got I don't know where Michael Terry fits into this, if he's more of a running back or a wide receiver, but I like to see him get in the mix too because he's an incredible talent as well. So as a group, I think they're top 5, honestly, for sure. I'd probably put them at 5 to be honest, but they can get better. I think they're going to sneak up on some people, like Rob said. So
Cam Coleman is super, like, ultra talented. And just real quick from you two, do you think Cam Coleman could challenge Jeremiah Smith for WR1 in the NFL draft?
No, man, no. We done seen what Jeremiah Smith has done for 2 years in a row. Now, I think he's a really close second and will be a really close second, but you can't go wrong with Jeremiah Smith, so don't even play with that. You know what I'm saying? You might as well get that guy. But I really do like Cam Coleman and what his upside is, especially with a quarterback who can get the ball in his catch radius, even though it might be high sometimes.
About you,
Yeah, same thing here. I mean, Jeremiah Smith, he might be generational a little bit, and plus he's got a quarterback that's extremely accurate over there at Ohio State, so that definitely helps a lot. But Cam, I think he's a top 5 pick, man. I mean, if you need a skill guy, especially, I mean, Why wouldn't you take him? I mean, he's I think he was a 5-star coming out of high school, anyways. And I think he's lived up to it. I mean, the hype at least. I mean, I know Auburn wasn't great, but imagine if they didn't have him. I mean, so now I'm looking forward to seeing this kid be a Texas Longhorn, man.
I don't think he's lived up to the hype at all. I think he's in the same category as Evan Stewart. They both were 5 stars coming out. Evan Stewart up at Oregon, but a lot of injuries there. But I don't think Coleman has lived up to the hype yet. I really don't. Can he? Oh, he's super talented. Don't get me wrong. The kid is dynamic. But I just think there's way more there. There's way too many drops for somebody of that caliber of a player. I don't care who the quarterback is. I know Jackson Arnold, I said, wasn't the greatest, but there were balls that hit Cam right in the hands and he just dropped. So I'm not going to say he's lived up to the hype. Over Jeremiah Smith? No. There's nobody you're taking over him. I'm taking Mario Craver over Cam Coleman, to be honest with you. I just think he's that electric. But Cam's got the size, so he'd go before him. Yeah, that's just where I sit. I just don't think he's lived up to the hype.
Well, speaking of hype, Jermaine Bishop, highly touted wide receiver. How soon will we see Jermaine Bishop this upcoming season, Doug?
Man, I hope this season, to be honest with you. I know he's listed as an athlete. Okay. Honestly, they may have to put him on the other side of the ball. I hope they don't need to, because I think he needs the ball in his hands. If they can get him on special teams somehow, even though they got a hell of a punt returner already, but I don't know, man. I think he's so good that they have to play him, man. I got to see this guy on the field, because at Willis, I think when DJ was there, I think he might have been like a sophomore or something, and he was probably still his best target. I mean, he was tearing it up. He broke all kinds of records in the greater Houston area for receiving. And reports out of camp, man, everybody thinks he runs good routes. He's smooth. He's fast, smart. I mean, his uncle is Michael Bishop. So let's go. Put him on the field.
Rob, any wide receivers you want to mention maybe that are being overlooked in that room?
Well, I mean, I think Jermaine Bishop might be one that we're going to see a lot more than we think we will see him, simply because he's a really good route runner. And if you remember 2 years ago when Ryan Wingo was a true freshman, he earned his way onto that football field, whether it was a reverse, short passes, but he worked his way onto that field. And I think that Jermaine Bishop has worked his way into the circle of trust with that wide receiver group for Steve Sarkisian. And I think that he may even be ahead of the likes of Dylan McCutcheon and Khalil Lockett. Khalil Lockett has been dealing with some injuries. I think even Dylan McCutcheon may have had a tweak here or there. So Jermaine Bishop is definitely going to get him some burn this football season. He's way too dynamic a player that he's not going to get on the field. And you know Steve Sarkisian, and the masterful play caller that he is, he's going to make sure that he has something out there for Jermaine Bishop, especially because the young man has earned it, man. He's earned it.
Jermaine Bishop will score his first touchdown in week 1.
Ooh.
Damn.
He's going to get on the field versus Texas State. That's a given. But just remember, guys, there's been 5-star kids come out of Willis High School before that didn't do anything. So be careful.
Who's that?
DJ.
DJ's doing stuff. What are you talking about? He's not done yet. He's about to tear it up there, baby.
Man, he's going to another team. DJ's transferring all over the place.
Doug, this guy over here, the hate is real.
This freaking guy, man. No, DJ's gonna be fine, dude. Trust me. I'm happy he came home. His daddy played at Baylor. That's probably where he should have went in the first place. But no, man, Jermaine Bishop is special. I can tell you that right now, and he's gonna have to play. So,
Rob, what do you see out of this tight end room for the 2026 season?
You know what? I really like the tight end room. I like I don't want to mess his name up. Eunice from Michigan State. I like Spencer Shannon. Those two guys are going to be really good inline blockers at the tight end position. Plus, they're going to catch a few balls to keep teams playing honest. But I'm telling you, when you start talking about Nick Townsend and Emery Winston, those two guys are going to be the playmaking tight ends. Whenever you get a guy like Jordan Washington, who was a tight end last year, was a true freshman, 5-star guy who transfers out because these two dudes, Emery Winston and Nick Townsend, you know you got some really good pass-catching tight ends. Now, they got to work on their pass blocking and being some inline things when it comes to some of the offensive schemes. But I really like their upside in terms of being able to catch the ball. We've seen how well Gunnar Helm turned out in his last year, and we also remember how DJ Sanders was the 2 years he was there at Texas as a starter or getting a lot of playing time. I expect those two young men to be just like that. But I really like the tight end room. There's depth there, and I think they're going to do a fantastic job.
What about you, Dougie Fresh? What you see this tight end room looking like?
well, I like Nick Townsend, man. I think that kid was highly recruited out of Spring Decaney High School. He can do all sorts of things. You know, that's one thing the Texas is missing a little bit. I mean, those days of Quinn and Gunnar Helms, man, that's some awesome stuff, man. You know, it's kind of reminded me of VY and Thomas back in the day when they did their thing. So, and the tight end we had last year, was it Emery's or I can't remember his last name. It started with an E. He was a big Henry, yeah. Did he get drafted by any chance?
Yeah,
okay, yeah, I thought he would. It's a big, strong dude right there, man. And but they didn't really get him the ball as much. And I don't know, maybe that's an Archie thing or something, you know, because I know Quinn, man. He used the tight end a lot. You know, he spread the ball around a lot. So, but I'm hoping Nick Townsend is that guy. I hope he lives up to it, man. Because we need that tight end position to be what it was.
Excellent. So, fellas, man, I think this is y'all measuring stick, so to speak. The offensive line. I feel like that's going to dictate y'all success. I remember talking to y'all last year about y'all Longhorns, and I said it then. It's going to come down to the O-line, and I think that's kind of what happened this year. The offensive line is up. If y'all have a dominant offensive line, I truly believe it will be Notre Dame, Texas for the national championship. So, but this is y'all show. I'm just asking the question. So, Mr. Brown, has Texas put together an offensive line who can compete for an SEC championship and ultimately a national championship? And my second part of my question is, do you like Texas's depth?
I'm going to go with the second part of your question first. I definitely like their depth. I mean, one thing that they learned from the previous year was let you know you got some pretty smart coaches is they understood that they dropped the ball on not getting some guys in the portal last year. They did not do that this year. They went out and got some really good guys in the portal. I think that the offensive line is going to be really, really good. We got some depth. We got some guys who have been in the system for a year or two, some even 3 and 4, that's going to be ready to take that next step and be able to contribute when needed. I mean, we all heard that Cole Hudson is back on the team. I don't know if he's ever going to get to play, though. In my opinion, I would not want him to play. I like for the guys that are there now to go ahead and do their thing that's been in fall camp all season. And let Cole Hudson go ahead and maybe be a tutor out there for those guys. But I like the depth. I like the move for Brandon Baker going from right tackle to right guard. Melvin Siani is playing really, really well. We're able to juggle around Andre Kojo, who's coming back from an ACL injury at left tackle and right tackle. Jordan Coleman, true sophomore, redshirt freshman, played last year but didn't play a whole lot. He's coming in the form. You got Lawrence Seymour from the transfer portal at right guard. He's playing well. Your center, who started the last 6 games for you, is back, and he played really well down the stretch. So I'm excited about him. We got some guys and some depth. Dylan Sikorsky at right guard. We got pieces that are going to be able to play. And the thing I love about Kyle Flood and the offensive staff is they make sure that they got guys who are playing at multiple positions so that those guys can just come in there and play wherever they might need them, and they don't necessarily have to, our left tackle went out, we got to bring in our second string left tackle. No, they got another guy that they can rotate over there and bring in the next best offensive lineman to play in that place where it's going to be a void at.
So how do you see y'all stacking up in the SEC? Do you think this is a dominant offensive line, or is it just a good enough offensive line?
Now, if you remember, and we talked about it a lot, everybody in the country is talking about how weak that freaking offensive line was. You can imagine if you're an offensive lineman on that Texas roster, what you're going to be doing this year. You're going to make sure that those people are not saying that same stuff. I'm very confident in them. I think they're ready to play in the SEC. We seen them do it down the stretch last season. I think they're going to be even better with the guys that they got out there now, because a lot of those guys are really, really Mauler type, especially the 2 guys we brought in the portal. Those guys are Mauler type guys, man, and that's what Texas needed. They know they need to be more physical because people been in that ear for a whole year. You need to get more physical. You're in the SEC. I think they get it. I think they're going to be fine.
Doug, how you see this offensive line shaking out? Can y'all compete for a national championship with this whole line and the SEC?
Absolutely, man. I think that the Longhorns, they learned from last year. Look, we got so much depth at offensive line. There's zero excuse for offensive line failures, man. Zero. And like Rob said, these guys are maulers, man. They're physical. And it kind of reminds me of when, Mac Brown's the last couple of years, how terrible and soft that offensive line was. And then they brought in Charlie Strong, and Charlie had such a difficult time with that team because he had to make over that entire team. And that offensive line, he brought in some guys that were just maulers, dude. If anything, Charlie Strong fixed that offensive line, dude. He brought in some dudes that were just mean and nasty. And that's what Texas needs on the offensive line, especially in the SEC. We cannot get beat up front like we did. We can't get dominated by Georgia. And we're not going to see Georgia this year, probably not till the SEC championship. But those days need to be over with, man. Okay, and we got so many guys coming in. We got young guys that we recruited. I can't remember his name, I'm sorry, but that kid out of North Crowley they got last year, big, tall, athletic kid. I mean, they got players now. So I'm excited about this offensive line. It's gonna help Archie out a lot, and hopefully the tight ends can pick up their and be good blockers for that run game as well. So no, I'm good. I'm happy with that.
What you think about that?
Let me tell Will Texas something. Listen, bro. We rushed for 160 yards on your Buckeyes last year. We're going to do the same thing this year because your defensive line is not going to be as good as the one last year. We about to beat y'all up again.
No doubt about that. So real quick, fellas, before we get into the defense, just a yes or no. Will Texas Longhorns have a top 5 offense this upcoming season?
Top 5?
Really good offense. Top 5, no.
No. There's some great offenses out there, man. I don't know.
Top 10.
Top 10, yeah. We can creep in the top 10. We can do that.
All right. I respect it. Let's look at that defensive side of the ball. Fellas, it's been 16 years since Will Muschamp was the defensive coordinator at Texas. He returns this season, so what can we expect from his scheme, Mr. Brown?
Man, you're going to see aggression, and we coming after the quarterback all day long. Press coverage. We're going to be the type of defense that we expect the athletic teams that Texas have had in the past to be. That if you remember way back when Texas, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, they always had press corners. They weren't trying to do no lagging off of the receiver, playing no zone. They've always been up in your face corners, and those are the type of corners and safeties that Texas has recruited. So I expect that defense to be really, really good. I expect them to do everything that Will Muschamp needs them to do to be ultra aggressive and always be in attack mode.
What about you, Doug? Will Muschamp, what are you looking forward to his defense?
Well, I'm looking forward to pressure and assignment football because that's what Will Muschamp coaches. Is he's going to get these guys to do their job, number one, or else he's going to lose his mind. Okay. But the pressure, like Rob said, man, I mean, we're not these days of 8-yard cushions and all this other weird stuff, man. That's done with, man. We recruited the right guys. Now I know people think the secondary is a question, but let me tell you something, man. Okay, then maybe Sean. Okay, they got some young guys, and we're going to mention a couple players that are going to make a difference for them. But I can't believe it's been 16 years, man. Damn, I'm old, bro. But yeah, Will Muschamp, I mean, his intensity, and I'll tell you something else, man. He's kicking Sark's ass at practice, dude. This is why Sark is getting so upset all the time, you know, about the offense. So I like Will Muschamp a lot. I'm so happy he's back, and I'm looking forward to seeing the pressure. Looking forward to seeing Colin Simmons all over the field, but just doing the same thing, and that's killing the quarterback. So
let me ask y'all this: is this the guy y'all expected, or was this a surprise hire for y'all?
It was a surprise for me. I was actually expecting Gary Patterson. And he's over there at USC now fixing that defense over there. So that's going to be scary. But I was actually expecting Gary Patterson maybe since he was already there. But no, I'll take Mr. Will Muschamp.
I wasn't surprised because if you go back and you look at the last 3 meetings with Georgia, the guy who was in that room, even though we know that it's Kirby Smart, we knew that there was a guy in that organization that we needed to get the hell out of that organization, and that was Will Muschamp. So I wasn't surprised because I think we understand that whenever you got a guy like Will Muschamp who knows how to play defense, that wants to be ultra physical, ultra aggressive, you want him on your side. And they gave PK a lot of time. PK has some really good defenses. He just at times in situations, he just didn't call it right. He didn't do the right things, man. And Steve Sarkisian had to part ways with him, even though he had some really good defenses the last few years.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So with Ty Anthony Smith dismissed from the team, who's going to step up at linebacker, Dougie Fresh?
Well, man, they got a lot of young guys. I know the young man that left, that got drafted by the Titans. He's killing it right now. Is it Hill? Man, that guy's looking really good, man. But they got. I think Will. He likes bigger, more physical linebackers, man. I mean, I think that's just kind of what transpired there, maybe. I don't know, but maybe just preference. But the linebackers, you got that kid from Georgia. I mean, was it from Georgia? Yeah, from Georgia, the Atkinson kid. He's been looking pretty good. Rocky Cummings, a kid from California. They're really liking that kid as well. I'm excited for this linebacker group. I think I'm missing another guy or something, but I think they're going to be all right. They're going to be young though. I think they're going to be young. They're going to, they're going to have to learn a little bit, but they got the right system.
Mr. Brown.
Well, I think the linebacker room is going to be okay. I think where they ran into their issue was they had some really undersized linebackers, very talented guys in Anthony Smith and Raheem Bowles, but you can't really necessarily put both of those guys out there in the type of scheme that Will Muschamp wants to run. He needs a big dude in that middle so that he can allow Raheem Bowles and Anthony Smith, if he was still on the team, to be able to use their athleticism to make plays. But they brought in Justin Cryer from Florida State, bigger body linebacker, a thumper in the middle. That's going to be a big addition. Then Tyler Atkinson, who's been playing really, really well. You got Brad Spence, who's playing better at the linebacker. He's more of a linebacker who wants to go after the quarterback, but he's learning that position a lot better. Rocky Cummings is playing a lot better there. Kosi Apala is making some noise there. So they got some big bodies there, but they've also made two more adjustments. They brought a smaller safety or a bigger safety, smaller linebacker now in Jordan Johnson-Rebel. He's going to be playing linebacker, and they also moved Colton Vosick back there as well to play some linebacker and to learn that position as well. What's good about that is both of those guys can go after the quarterback too, something that Will Muschamp wants to do with his linebackers.
How big of a loss is Anthony Smith? Is that a devastating loss or something y'all can, recover from?
It would have been a huge loss if we didn't have Raheem Bowles.
Yeah, it's definitely a loss, man, because that kid looked like he had a lot of potential. It still does, But I think we're going to be okay, man. I wish him the best. I really do.
Me too.
It's a big loss in the aspect of it happened so late in camp. Do these young guys have enough reps to learn all of the Muschamp calls? That's the catch. Plus, he was hellacious in coverage. He was somebody you could drop back, and he was good. So that's the only reason I see it as a big issue is because it happened so late in camp.
He missed quite a bit of time too because he had gotten sick.
That's right.
Got you. So, fellas, and I'll start with Mr. Brown on this question. How confident are you in the defensive backs? And are they going to be able to hold up in man coverage this season? The second part is this secondary the weakness of the team?
I'm ultra confident in that because I'm telling you now, whenever you got a guy like Grayson Littleton, who we saw what he did last year as a true freshman, he's going to primarily play in that slot position, that star position, which we know he did a bang-up job last year. Cade Phillips on the outside, and Bo Masco. I think those guys are going to be fine in those positions, covering the slot, covering the wide receivers on the outside. Jelani McDonald going to be solid. Where my concern comes in at is who's going to be that safety next to Jelani McDonald. Is it going to be a guy who can cover? Because that's what they need in this instance. It's probably going to be Derek Williams to start with, but I really think they got some really capable guys back there. When you start looking at Kobe Black, who moved from corner, who's a really good, decent coverage corner, now going to safety where he can see it coming at him and make plays because he's a guy who wants to be a ball-hawking defensive back. And then you look at Jonah Williams and what he's able to do. Xavier Filsaime played a lot last year, got a lot of burn. He's ready to take the next step. The thing is, we just don't know if all of those guys are going to be that coverage safety that we need. But I'm okay with who's at the corners, who's at the star, and Jelani McDonald. My concern is that second piece at safety.
How about you, Doug?
Yeah, I mean, thank God for Littleton in the slot. He's going to do what he does. He's fantastic. The corners, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm a little concerned about the corners, to be honest with you. But I know this is going to sound crazy, but they do have John Meredith III there now. And he's supposed to be a senior this year. Try to transfer to North Crowley, who already has the best secondary in the country. But I guess that's why UIL was like, no, thank you. But he's already there, man, and that guy's special, man. If you guys never seen this John Meredith kid, he's long. I mean, this guy, he's like an infection, man. He gets inside you. I mean, he's not just covering you. He's inside you, bro, and he's that special. So I know Sark said he's not in any rush. I mean, I'm sure he had him scheduled to come in after next year, anyways. But I mean, he's there. So if you had to use him, use him. Now in the safety, Kobe Black moving to safety, I think that's going to be good. But man, Jonah Williams, man, that dude at safety. We got to see this kid play. I know he plays baseball too, but this dude is special, man. He went to Galveston Ball High School. He was all everything. I think he played linebacker mostly, but he actually did everything. But Jonah Williams is a ball hawk. He's got instincts. He's special. He's got the pedigree. Actually, I'm Facebook friends with one of his uncles, who actually was a really good quarterback at Clear Lake High School back in the early '90s. He was being recruited by Florida State, but he got injured. But so I'm looking forward to seeing Jonah Williams. I think he's going to play. He's going to have to play. But I'm a little concerned about the corners, though, to be honest with you. But we'll see.
Let me mention Warren Roberson as well, because whenever Will Muschamp wants to go with a bigger, more aggressive star guy, the guy that's playing in the slot, he's going to go with Warren Roberson, who is a little bit more physical than Grayson Littleton. Grayson Littleton is a smaller, slighter built dude. He's no slouch, but he's not as ultra aggressive as Warren Roberson is.
Look, just walk them corners up and play press coverage on November 27th, please. Because I do not like y'all's corners that much, and I love our receivers if you're pressing them. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's going to happen. Colin Simmons.
There you John Meredith out there on Isaiah Horton, and let him teach.
Hey, let's go. Let's go. John Meredith. He'll cover him, man. Let's go.
Yeah, no.
So, Doug, let's talk a little bit about y'all defensive line. Does Texas have enough talent across the defensive line to keep OCs from keying in on Simmons and preventing him from wrecking the game?
I think so. I mean, I'm thinking guys like Alex January is going to have a big year. I mean, they got a couple other guys that are really good. The way Will Muschamp likes to do it, I think he's gonna rotate a lot of guys. He's gonna move Colin Simmons probably all over the field, from different sides of the ball. So they definitely need to get some pressure up front. But no, I definitely like what they're doing at defensive line, especially Alex January.
Yeah, I think the defensive line is going to be fine. They got a lot of bodies there, a lot of bodies that got a lot of experience playing. Now, of course, they got a lot of experience playing in Will Muschamp's system, but they got a lot of playing time just ordinarily just being on that roster. I really like the fact that they can change things up when they need to bring in big bodies for the run, and they're able to bring in slider bodies when it comes to having to put some pressure up the middle. You got a guy like Justice Terry you can put in there, Myron Charles you can put in there. Even though Lance Jackson is going to be playing defensive end opposite of Colin Simmons, when they want to go with their NASCAR package, they can put him in there as well with those guys and get after the quarterback. I think that defensive line is going to be really, really good. I think Murad Watson is going to play better than he played last year. He was hurt a lot last year. I know Alex January is going to play really, really good. Harold Canoe was probably the best defensive tackle we had last year. I think they got more than enough bodies to be able to free up Colin Simmons. And we know scheme-wise, Will Muschamp is going to make sure that he does that for Colin Simmons. He wants Colin Simmons to be the most dangerous defensive player in the country, and he's going to make sure he schemes it up that way.
After Colin Simmons, who's the most talented defensive lineman on this team?
I would say Lance Jackson.
It's close.
I mean, Zena's really good as well. Zena, he's really good. He's a defensive end that's going to be going back and forth at both of those positions at the edge. I think, for me, it's Lance Jackson. I think he has the biggest upside out of everybody else outside of Colin Simmons.
Yeah, I like Lance Jackson too. He's got a nice first step. So I'll definitely go with Lance.
So, fellas, before we get to the schedule, I gotta ask y'all, man, how many sacks for Colin Simmons this season?
How many did he have last year? Like 12, something like that. Will Muschamp. It's got to be at least 15.
Ooh.
Got to be at least 15.
I'm going with 15 as well. I mean, if you think about it, last year he finished with 12, and he really didn't get many sacks in the first 3 or 4 games.
I mean, he was covering like half the time.
Yeah.
He was covering a slot receiver or something half the time. So he should get 15.
Too much attention is going to be focused on chipping him, like was focused on Cassius Howell last year. He'll get right around 11 to 12 again. I just think he's going to have too much. I think he's going to be chipped. That's what happened to Cassius Howell when he got into SEC play. People started throwing a tight end or a running back out there to chip him. I don't see 15. Give me 12 on him.
You don't think Texas will be able to move him around the line and disguise him? No. Okay.
They might be able to, but I just think OCs are going to know, and running backs are going to know, and the quarterback's going to be told, if he moves to the middle, put your running back to check. I just think it's going to be a game plan to stop him, at least put an extra body, make him fight through something.
Okay. Let's man, that's really good insight on that defensive side of the ball, man. I'm looking forward to seeing that Texas defense, man, and that secondary. But let's look at y'all schedule, man. I mean, y'all start at Texas, or y'all home for Texas State. Tell me what's going to happen in that game.
It's going to be a blowout.
It don't matter. So it's going to be a blowout.
It should, yeah. It definitely should be a blowout. A lot of guys are going to be playing this game. Hopefully, they'll be able to. We'll see a lot of guys playing this game because they're not going to see them the week after that. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a 2:30 kickoff, man. It's going to be a scorcher. I got a buddy going there. His nephew is the deep snapper for Texas State. Can't remember his name, but
nice.
I expect a good game. Texas to probably win by, I don't know, 30 or 40, something like that.
I think Texas State is going to be able to stress Texas in a way that they need to be stressed, because they're going to be a team that's going to want to throw the ball all over the field and really give those linebackers, those cornerbacks, and those safeties something to really prepare for and look at. Of course, Texas talent-wise is way talented than Texas State. I think the score is going to be somewhere around 45, maybe 17, somewhere around in there. I think the spread is maybe 30, 31, somewhere around in there. I think Texas will get close to covering that, Probably won't because of the fact that, it's going to be mop-up time and they're going to probably get a score when Texas got their third and fourth string dudes in there to get away from that spread. But I think Texas State is going to challenge Texas in the ways that Texas need to be challenged when it comes to those corners and safeties and linebackers.
That's a good point.
So the following week, y'all have Ohio State. Ohio State comes to Austin. We know what happened last year. That was a heck of a game I really enjoyed watching. So, Mr. Brown, what happens when Ohio State comes to town for your Longhorns?
Well, I mean, if we know Steve Sarkisian in the way I think I know him, he's been practicing for this Ohio State ever since spring. He's been doing install back in the spring for this game against Ohio State. I mentioned Texas State just previously. They probably took a little bit of that install away from Ohio State because they got to really get prepared for Texas State and what Texas State wants to do. But believe me, Steve Sarkisian has been putting in nuggets here and there for this Ohio State game ever since springtime. I think they're going to be ready for Ohio State. I think it's going to be a really good matchup, a really good game like we've seen the last 2 or 3 times, well, really every time they played. But I think Texas comes out victorious in this one by 3.
About you, Doug? How you see and artistically incredible. That's super spicy.
Great.
I like
it. No, that's gonna be an awesome game, man. It's gonna be a night game, I believe. I think Texas did not want a night game last year, but that's okay. Not as much as hype as it was last year. I think last year it was the first game of the season. That was kind of crazy to open the season like that. But they both get a warm up coming into Austin. 100,000. It's gonna be great. I think Texas, skill wise, most positions I think they're a little bit better, except for maybe wide receiver or something like that. But the offensive line is better. I think this is going to be a great game. I think Texas is going to pull this one out. Rob says 3 points. I say 10 points. I think it'll be a 10-point victory. They should have won last year over there. They had a chance to win last year. As terrible as they started off last year, they still had a chance to win that game. So
hopefully T1 comes back up because I definitely wanted to get his thoughts on the Ohio State and Texas game this season. But let's move on. Y'all got UTSA the following week or the next week. How do y'all see that game going?
I mean, that should be another win, but UTSA, they're going to be pretty good here soon. I think, man, they got a good coach over there. I think isn't that where Jeff Traylor is, Sean? UTSA, the Roadrunners, yeah. So they're going to be well coached. So that's going to be a pretty good game. I think they're gonna test that secondary as well. So, but I still like Texas pretty big in that game, for sure.
Yeah, I like the UTSA matchup as well. And I talked about UTSA a couple of streams ago. I think they're going to be one of the group of 5 teams that might have an opportunity to vie for one of those with that last that 12th seed in the college football playoffs out of the group of 5 teams. Of course, Texas is probably going to beat them pretty handily, but I like the matchup with them because they're going to give Texas some good preparation going into that game against Tennessee.
Doug, just beware of UTSA.
I know, man.
You know who their quarterback is.
I can't remember his name.
The last name will ring a bell. Owen McCown.
Oh, that's right, man. Another McCown.
Those McCown boys can play.
Is it the 3rd one or 4th one? Which one is this?
It's the 4th one. This is Randy's son, I believe.
Wow.
September 26th, y'all travel to Tennessee.
Well, Tennessee's rolling out a true freshman quarterback against that defense and Will Muschamp. That's going to be a nightmare. That stadium is going to be freaking electric. I'm even thinking about driving down for that game. And I normally don't like going on another team's turf because I just don't know how they're going to act. But I'm thinking about going to that game, man. But I think that Texas has a little bit too much talent, and they will pull away from Tennessee in the second half and win that game by at least double digits.
Well, you know, Rob, anytime you want to travel to an opposing team stadium, wear your Texas shirt, but make sure you get this printed on the Texas shirt. I know Wiz, and you'll be good anywhere you go, bro.
There it is.
What you got, Doug? Tennessee.
Again, that's going to be electric. I don't think Texas has ever played over there, huh? This will be the first time. That's going to be special for sure. It's going to be rocking, but I expect a close first half. Like Rob said, I think Texas will pull away in the second half. Their defense is just going to be too much for that young quarterback. Heupel worries me a little bit. I mean, the guy's pretty smart, but a lot of people think this might be an upset or a trap game for Texas, but that's going to be later on in the season. I think Texas pulls this one out at Rocky Top.
Yes, sir.
Rob, just wear a shirt that says UT. It's the same ugly ass orange, so just wear a UT shirt.
It's definitely ugly.
Bro, you can, as long as you got I know Wiz on your shirt, man, you can have a Longhorn, you can have Hook'em and all that, bro.
Yeah, but in Tennessee, they're not gonna be able to read that, and it's gonna think it says I got a Wiz, and they're gonna be pointing him to the bathroom.
That's funny. October 10th, fellas, Red River. Y'all go to Oklahoma. How y'all see that game playing out?
Go ahead, Doug.
Well, I mean, but it's in Dallas, but that's going to be another good one, man. I mean, that's one thing that Sark's been able to do recently is beat Oklahoma. So, and I don't think Oklahoma has scored in the last two or three, at least the last two. They haven't scored. So, and now they'll probably score in this game, but I still like Texas in this game. Probably, man, this is actually be pretty close, I think. Probably by touchdown.
Yeah, I don't think Oklahoma's fixed their run offense, man, and I think they've had a couple of issues on their offensive line with some injuries as well. I know for Susie, he missed some time. So I really feel like if you can't run the ball against a Will Muschamp defense, he's going to tee off on you, man. And we got to see last year when they couldn't block Texas how they were getting after what's the quarterback's name again, man? His name slips my mind. But how they was getting after him, I think they're going to get after him again like that. And even though I think their receivers are okay, I don't think Texas defensively is going to be that concerned with them. I really like Oklahoma's defense, though. I think they're going to be really good. But if you can force Oklahoma into several 3-and-outs or where they don't expend a lot of clock, you can really take advantage of their defense at that point because they're going to be tired. And I don't know if they are 2 and 3 deep like they need to be, especially in the SEC. I think Texas beats them pretty easily.
You were speaking on John Mateer, right?
John Mateer, yeah.
And this is a neutral. Y'all be on the neutral field, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Cotton Bowl.
Got it. October 17th, fellas. Florida Gators. They got y'all last year. What's gonna happen this upcoming year?
Let me jump in real quick. I'm gonna give you my prediction for the season. I got to jump off. I've got Texas going 10-2 this season. So that's where I've got them making the playoff. But I got to jump off. I got to go take care of something. So I just want to give you my final prediction for them.
Good.
Right on, SEC.
All right.
All right, brother.
All right.
Gig
Florida, Texas, Florida, October 17th. What y'all got on this game?
I got revenge on my mind, man. I mean, last time Florida came to town, it was a blowout. Texas really spanked the living crap out of them. Now, of course, it's totally two different teams now, and I really like what Florida's doing, man. That coach, was it Summerall, something like that? That guy, he's bringing in some dudes, man, and he's going to turn that thing around pretty quick, I think. Just not this year, just not in Austin. Again, I think the defense, the run game, I think all that's going to click. I don't know who they bring in at quarterback. Who is their quarterback? Anybody know?
Didn't they bring in the Auburn guy?
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. No, I like Texas big in this game. Honestly, probably by at least 20 points, man. I think they're going to lay it on them in Austin.
Yeah, I think Texas is going to be out for revenge. You know, this is a game that Texas should have won last year. They let it get away from them. They're going to match the physicality in this game that they did not match last year. And I think this is one that's circled on the schedule for Texas. They expect to go into Florida, into the swamp, and do them like they did them the year before. Maybe the score won't be as outrageous as it was 2 years ago, but the outcome is still going to be the same. I think Texas is going to be ready for Florida. Florida's going to be breaking in a new quarterback. They got a nice running back. They're going to have a good offensive line, and I like Dallas Wilson, but I just think Texas defensively is going to be too much for them. And I don't know if Florida's defensive backs, even though I like the one guy they got, he's solid, but I don't know if they got the weapons defensively to be able to keep up with Texas offense.
That's Aaron Philo. He's actually a transfer from Georgia Tech. Will be the Florida starting quarterback.
Okay.
October 24th, fellas, Mississippi. What y'all got?
Man.
You know, Mississippi, I don't think they're going to have enough to beat Texas. I think that this is going to be one of those games that you really want to see where Texas is at this point. I think they're going to fare well. They get Mississippi at home. They got to come into DKR. I think Texas fans are going to be excited about that, and they're going to be ready to play. And I think Texas at that point going to be turning the corner and going in a really good direction defensively, iron out all the kinks from those previous 5 or 6 games. And I think they're going to be better than Mississippi, and I think they get them by double digits as well.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Rob. Mississippi coming into Austin. Now, if this game was in Mississippi and Oxford, it'd be a trap game to me because for some reason it's that little high school stadium they play in over there gets pretty rocking. But they're coming to DKR, 100,000. Like I said, I think the defense will have enough to stop them. So I know they got a great running back over there, man. So it's going to be another great test for that defensive front and those linebackers. So if they can stop the run, which will, I mean, that's a specialty. The guy is assignment football. He's going to stop the run first. So I think they're going to win a couple scores. I say 10 points. They'll pull it out. They're a little bit more talented than Ole Miss.
Yeah, Rob can attest to this. I've been saying since February, March, April, whatever the case may be, I think Mississippi is going to feel the effect of not having Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss Jr. But October 31st, Mississippi State, who y'all got in this game?
Mississippi State, I think they come to Texas this year. They come to Austin, so I don't give them a chance. And the way Mississippi State played Texas last year, Texas is not going to leave anything to chance. They're going to up them dudes. Even though I like their quarterback and their cornerback.
Oh, yeah.
No, this is going to be a blowout at home. This is not going to be another close game. That Texas, they should have lost that game, honestly, but they didn't. Thank God. But no more cowbells this time around. Not to hear that annoying crap over there. They do at Mississippi State with those cowbells. They're coming to Austin, and it's going to be a complete. They're going to wipe the floor clean with Mississippi State.
November 7th, y'all travel to Missouri.
What do you think, Rob? I think that's going to be. I mean, a lot of people think that's going to be a trap game because I think they go to LSU after that. Before that, okay, yeah. So, but you know what? I don't know why, but Missouri just doesn't do it for me, man. They just never do it. Matter of fact, I'm still struggling with them being in the SEC. Every time I think of Missouri, I think Big 12 all the time. I forget they're in the SEC sometimes. But
yeah.
But you know, playing over there is different, though. I mean, they're rocking over there a little bit, but I don't see it as a trap game. I know they got LSU. Really, depending on how good LSU is doing, maybe they might be a trap game, but I think they take care of business, man. It might be close, but I think they take care of business.
I think in the first half, Missouri will give Texas a good contest. You know, the thing about Steve Sarkisian, and if you go and watch some of his games, he eventually figures you out and comes out in the second half and understands what they need to do. It's just, can those guys execute it or not? Because he puts them in position to make plays. Sometimes Texas make plays and they go on to dominate the second half. Sometimes they don't quite make the plays because the other team has, stepped their game up as well. But I think in the second half, Texas pulls away from Missouri and beats them by probably 3 scores.
The very next week, November 14th, Texas LSU.
I really do feel like, man, that the turmoil behind LSU and Lane Kiffin is probably going to come back to bite them, man. And I feel like these players are having to deal with some stuff because of their coach that they should not be having to deal with. And I think that's been Lane Kiffin's thing wherever he's gone. You have your players having to deal with things that they shouldn't have to deal with. They should just be focused on football. And I think this offseason, and the fact that LSU did not vote yesterday on the daggone ruling, and it came back 15-0, but they were a team that didn't decide to vote. Like, come on, man, that makes no sense. But that sounds like a typical Lane Kiffin thing. It's like, I think LSU is going to be better than what they have been in the past, but I really don't feel like LSU is ready to turn the corner. I think it's going to be a really good contest because it's in Death Valley, but ultimately I think Texas is rolling at that point, and they beat LSU by at least 10 points.
I think it's going to really depend on how LSU looks going into that game, man, to be honest with you, because with all the Lane Kiffin distractions and all that stuff, I mean, who knows, honestly. But if they're really good, if LSU is really good by that time and they're a top 10 team, this is going to be a banger for sure at Death Valley. I don't know what time this game is going to be. It's probably to be announced. They're probably going to make it a night game, probably. Man, that might be. I think Texas has been there before, haven't they, Rob? Have they played in Death Valley? No?
We were supposed to go there that COVID year, but COVID hit.
That's right. Okay. Well, that's going to be interesting. But no, I mean, I think LSU is probably another year away, anyways, man. I think Texas. This is their year. They're all set up this year. So, but at Death Valley, it's going to be tough, man. But I like Texas by at least a score.
Got you. Yes, sir. Time in the chat. We talked about the Red River rivalry. November 21st, Arkansas comes to Austin. What y'all got happening in that game?
They're gonna beat the snot out of Arkansas. I'm going to that game, by the way. They're gonna beat the snot out of Arkansas.
Are you staying for Thanksgiving down in Texas? Or you coming
No.
back up?
I'm probably gonna come back Tuesday, probably Tuesday. Yeah.
Got you.
But I'm leaving that Friday.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game won't be close, man. Even though Arkansas, they hate Texas more than they like themselves. The whole state does, but they don't have enough, man. They don't have enough.
Got you. November 27th or 26th? Is it to be determined? But y'all
It's
got
on that Friday. It's gonna be on that Friday.
Got you. Y'all go to A&M, final game of the regular season. What y'all got going on in this game, fellas?
A&M don't scare nobody, man. Come on, we win in A&M all the time, dude. We won over there with freaking Colt McCoy's little brother, dude. Are you kidding me? And Jackson, and what's his name? And Jordan and Jackson, freaking, what's his name, dude? That wide receiver, Jordan Shipley's little brother, Jackson Shipley.
Jackson Shipley.
Yeah, those guys should have actually been in Conference USA, honestly, man. But anyways, we beat them over there. We always win in A&M. It don't even matter. So history is behind us. I'm going with just straight history on this. I don't care how good A&M is. They can be undefeated, just like Texas is going to be undefeated going into that game, which has always been my dream, by the way, for Texas and A&M to both be undefeated going into that game. That'd be so freaking awesome. But either way, Texas wins, man.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good game in the first half, but I think Texas eventually speaks it out. I know he talked about the fact that he got those wide receivers, and he thinks that they're going to have a field day against Texas corners. I don't think so, man. I mean, we contained Mario Craver last year. I think he's the best wide receiver they have. I'm really not concerned about Texas A&M at all. I know the stadium is going to be electric. The 12th man is going to be jumping, but it's Texas freaking A&M. We already know who Big Brother is. Big Brother lets his little brother hang around for a while until it's time to decide who gonna win. And then that's when Texas just says, "Get over here, little brother," puts them in a handlock and go ahead and defeats them. And that's how it's gonna be this time, man. And I don't think that Texas A&M has enough for how talented Texas is offensively and defensively. I just don't think that they're going to be able to beat Texas.
Cool. My bad, y'all. My leg locked up and sitting down for too long.
Got to stretch it out, man. Got to lean up against that wall, man.
Yeah, but okay, so we ran through the schedule. Final thoughts on how Texas is going to fare this year. How does their season end?
Man, well, me and Rob just had them going undefeated regular season. So what I think may happen, and I hate to say this, if they see Georgia in the SEC championship, because for some reason we just can't beat those freaking dogs, man. If we don't see Georgia in the SEC championship, Texas is going undefeated. If not, I don't know. But either way, playoffs, guaranteed.
Yeah, I know that I said Texas was going to win every single game, but for me, their floor is 8-4 because they got a really tough schedule, and their ceiling is 10-2. But I could still see them going 12-0. Ultimately, Texas has got to meet Georgia in the SEC championship game because we have got to beat the king of the SEC, and that's Georgia. I don't want it any other way. We got to meet Georgia, and we got to beat them. We should have beat them the last time we played them in the SEC championship game, but the daggone kicker still goes. But even though Texas, I think, outplayed Georgia in that game, we lost it. We got to get some comeback. I don't want it any other way. I got to have Georgia in the SEC championship game.
Is Texas the true national championship threat, fellas?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't want to say national championship or bust, but it's definitely national championship game or bust as far as I'm concerned, man. Because they got too much this year. They really do. And the way Sark started off this year, kind of talking a lot of trash to Texas Tech and all that, I was like, damn, this guy really likes his team, man. When you know when a coach likes his team, man, you watch out. So no, I think it's national championship game or bust this year for the Texas Longhorns.
There you
I
go.
mean, as long as Arch Manning stays healthy and Trevor Goolsby gets healthy and stays healthy, I think Texas is in good shape. Everywhere else, I think we can plug a player in there to and still be really, really good. It's just those two positions are the ones that concern me the most. If those players were to go down and have to miss some serious amount of time.
There it is right there, ladies and gentlemen, the 2026 Texas Longhorn preview. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channels for Doug, for Rob, and myself. Post game of Post Game Sports. We out of here. Peace.